Hey guys, what's up? It's Katie and I'm back with a little bit of a different video where I'm going to complain about Kabam. I know, shocker, right? Kabam has implemented this new lockout period for donations when joining a new alliance. I've gotten quite a few questions about it, about basically how I feel about it and other things really that Kabam has done recently. And I kind of wanted to take the time, look at some stuff, and take it all in before I gave my final thoughts in this video. So, got my final thoughts and opinions. All right, now Kabam has made a few changes in their policies lately to crack down on fraud. First, they removed gifting because of the fraud and hacking going on with it. That was a huge blow to everyone, really, because gifting was a very valuable tool in this game if it was used properly. Now, I think they could have done something a little bit different where you could still, give between your alliance mates or something like that to help them out in harder quests or, if they get stuck in war or AQ. But I could actually even see how that could be abused. I really wish they would have really looked at revamping the gifting system instead of eliminating it completely, but it is what it is. On a side note though, I wonder what they are actually going to do for their annual gifting event, which I know they're going to make a ton of money from. I think it would be kind of hypocritical of them really though to, still hold that event because people could just honestly wait for that event and then abuse the system again. But I guess as long as they make their money, I don't think they're really gonna care. Now, for those of you who are kind of unaware of how the gifting system was fraudulent, a simple explanation is that people were buying units with stolen credit cards and then hacked SIM cards. And there were, shady people you could pay, let's say, $20 to. And they would load an Odin, which is $100 worth of units onto your account. People would buy shady units on alternate accounts and then gift, massive items to their main account. There were a lot of ways to abuse this whole gifting system. Now, you can still buy shady units, but if those charges get refunded by the person that they were stolen from, you get put into what's that Kabam unit debt, and you can open yourself up to a possible ban. Now, this was a big problem because people were stealing money from others. From what I understand, they take control of your account so that you basically give this thief your account details, and they would add the units usually in like small batches from several stolen sources to, try to avoid detection. And then plus after all that, you're basically giving your account details out and opening yourself up to getting hacked. Now, Kabam was aware of this for a long time. They did a pansy-ass crackdown and gave all these top-tier alliances and players that were buying thousands of dollars in shady units 1 week bans. I know. Even some YouTubers got caught up in this, and in all honesty, that's a pretty light sentence by most. But Kabam, they were still making their money. It was just stolen money. Okay, now let's move on and fast forward to this past week. First, Kabam has changed their chargeback policy. I made kind of a quick little video about it, and we'll post a link in the description below if you want my thoughts. But the TLDR version is, I think they have the right to protect their transaction system, so I don't really see a problem with it. Now, they have initiated alliance donation lockouts in another attempt to curb fraud. Running map 7x5 on the old donations cost about 666,000 gold, 80,000 battle chips, and 50,000 loyalty per week per person. That is a lot of resources, and not only is it a lot of resources, but it's a lot of time to get those resources. So what alliances would do is they would bring in a shell account that had a lot of resources and then dump them into the treasury. Now, the problem is on how these shell accounts got their resources. They could have used the credit card unit fraud system I mentioned before, or they could, farm the resources using bots. And, in some cases, I know of people buying or obtaining accounts from others that have quit the game and dumping the resources into the treasury from those abandoned accounts. Members of the Alliance would then pay a fraction of what those resources were worth for the shell account to load up the treasury. Now, I am, of course, not upset with Kabam on cracking down with the fraud. I am not a proponent of stealing whatsoever. What I am upset about is the system Kabam has in place that makes people have to go outside and use these scrupulous tactics to play this game. My problem is with the cost it takes to play this game. Over the past year, Kabam, or really Netmarble, they have been hitting us in the pocket on every aspect of the game. Let's take a look at this donation cost, first and foremost, okay? I'm using what the standard donations were when I was running map 7x5. I know they lowered the costs a little bit, but really not by much. I mean, you can see it up on the screen here. So, if you had zero time to grind this game and had to use donations to cover your end every week, the breakdown was this. One unit gives you 320 gold for a total of 2,082 units. One unit gives you 550 battle chips for a total of 145 units. And one unit gives you 100 loyalty for a total of 500 units. That's a grand total of 2,727 units per week you would have to sink into your Alliance treasury. Of course, most people have the resources from other aspects of the game, but you still need gold to rank up champs. You still need loyalty to buy pots and resources and boosts and that sort of thing. And you still need units for other aspects of this buggy ass game that will cost you even more, even if you play it perfectly. Now, since being taken over by Netmarble, this game has successfully monetized every aspect of itself. And if I look back to when I first started playing up until the new war system, the biggest money sink was buying crystals. You could play most all other aspects, really, of this game at a low cost. And then, the new war system was introduced, and that was a giant money pit. Then new content that needed certain champs and new crystals to buy those champs, and it just kind of spiraled downhill after that. So here's what's bothering me. I have been playing this game since nearly its inception, and a grinder who spent minimal time grinding could have an account when this game first started as good as a decent spender. Crystals were, not what they really are today. You could play map 5, which was the highest tier, and Alliance War was definitely not the money pit that it is today. Yeah, the content was difficult, but there wasn't as many nodes, and there weren't that many champs that required a specific champ, to beat it like there is now. There used to be multiple strategies that you could use to beat content, but it seems like today that's not really the case. And that's my problem. Kabam has always said after 12.0 they're going to make quality of life changes, but I really can't see any that they've made. They say the economy and the mechanics are fair to all players, but I don't see that at all. Where is that true? Case in point is Act 6, right? You need specific star levels, only 5 stars and 6 stars allowed in there. So not only do you have that, but then Act 6.2, you have specific gates where if you don't have those champs, you're not going to get through. In order to get that, you have to have the champs, but then you have to have the right champs to beat it. So how do you get those champs? Well, you can spin a lot of crystals and spend a lot of money, or, there are other ways to grind for them or use resources to purchase those crystals. Either way, though, you're sinking a ton of time or a ton of money into this game. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that's how mobile games like this work. But now Kabam has taken steps, where you need to spend almost, it seems like 24 hours on this game. And even then, sometimes it seems like that is not enough. Let's first take a look at map 7x5. I ran it for a while and I actually enjoyed it. The difficulty and coordination, between your alliance mates, that was fun. but it just took so much time from me with my busy schedule that I had to take a step back from it. And you know what? I'm actually okay with that. But Kabam is making it to where not only is your skill and time a barrier to content, but your pocketbook is now too. So now you have people saying that if you can't afford to do the content, don't do the content. But it really shouldn't be like that. If you've already sunk the time and resources to get the champs, rank said champs, and now have to sink the time and money to play the content that you've ranked those champs for, but you can't because Kabam is demanding more and more money and time, from you to play the game, to play the content, not cool. I'm not complaining. Now, I don't want you guys to spin this. I'm not complaining about hard or difficult content. I think that's what makes the game fun. I really like testing out my skills and strategies with hard and difficult content. I like, researching content and finding unique synergies and unique abilities to get it done. But putting up paywalls everywhere is making the fun aspect of this game die. It honestly just makes me want to play Apex Legends all the time instead. And this brings me to my next point. Kabam only wants you to play this game. If you want to play in the higher tiers, they want you to, have no life, don't have a job, and play nothing else but this game. And how, Kabam, does that fit into your quality of life decisions that you have promised? Just your quality of life maybe, and not the players'? If you're one of the most skilled players in this game and you have the time to do the hardest content and play in the top alliances, you shouldn't be limited to how much money you have in your pocket. It should be based on your skills. Even the most skilled players could be held back by this paywall. There needs to be some sort of checks and balances in place with Kabam. You should be able to spend, your money or grind your way to get the champs needed and ranked. And once that is done, completing the content shouldn't cost you an arm and a leg. What's next? Is the new war system gonna make me swipe my plastic for $5 just to place my defenders? Things like this makes me worry about the longevity of this game. And maybe that's the whole point. Maybe there is no longevity and Kabam knows that and they're just trying to cash in while they can. You've got a lot of top players with these top rosters dropping down in War and AQ just to avoid those costs as a direct effect of this. And you have others just flat out quitting the game. So, what is my solution to all of this in order to make this a more quality of life game? Well, it goes back to what I said earlier. I think Kabam should do as they do normally with their crystals and rank up materials where, you can either spend units or grind them out. But they need to alleviate us on the cost of actually playing the content. Now, I'm not talking about you running in on the 6.2.6 champion boss with the wrong champ and spending a ton of units on resources. That's your own damn fault for going in all balls to the wall. But I am talking about once you've developed your roster, through grinding or paying, it shouldn't cost you more to do Alliance War or Alliance Quest. I think they should just completely remove the map costs and let the alliances with the best skills and the best rosters go for the top spots. This would make the end game more skill-based as it should. As I've mentioned before in War, I think they should take away the item costs. I think every player should get a flat 15 items to use for War. And once you've used those 15 items, that's it, you're done, you're out. This then makes things more skill-based and takes the money out of it. There's going to be a money aspect really to it because those with the most money, they have the best champs because they can spin the most crystals. So that'll never go away. But if you look at a player like Brian Grant, who has one of the best free-to-play accounts and rosters out there, he plays at the top level of this game. But sooner or later, at the road that Kabam is taking, he's going to hit that paywall. So my question then is, when does all the time and resources and grinding in your account pay off? Like I said, with the direction that Kabam is going, I honestly think never. Season 11 is right around the corner, And Kabam is constantly trying to make war more difficult. You know, they've got all these new nodes and stuff coming in. You know they're going to bump up the rewards to make more war enticing for everyone who has given up on it. So you're going to have all these alliances now trying to be top tier in war and then run map 7x5. And honestly, I don't know if that'll be possible without spending. There's no way to even grind out 50,000 loyalty a week. You'll have to convert units in order to get that. So with all of that being said, what are my final thoughts? Well, I think Kabam needs to make the end game more skill-based and less money-based when it comes to alliance events. Let the best players battle it out without going broke. I mean, isn't that the whole point of trying to be the best of the best? But what do you guys think? Are you in favor of Kabam's crackdown on unit fraud? What are your thoughts on the donation lockout? Do you think there are too many paywalls in this game? How would you like to see the game structured to see it more balanced? Or do you think it's balanced right now? Let me know in the comments below and let's discuss. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you guys liked what you saw and you want to see more, please remember to like and subscribe, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and hit me up in the Discord chat. Thanks, guys. Bye.